everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be giving you guys an in-depth tour around my art desk slash workstation. I've just finished tidying up and completing the top bit of the desk here, and I thought it'd be a really good opportunity to give you guys an in-depth tour, show you guys how I organise my art supplies, and you all really enjoyed the last video I did. Last year in March I did a art station tour and a lot of you guys enjoyed that, so I thought I would do another one now as it's a year later and there are quite a few new additions to my art desk, and I'm really looking forward to taking you guys round, opening all the little doors and really giving you guys an in-depth tour. A couple of things I just want to quickly mention before I go into doing that is just to tell you guys about the desk structure, because I've made this whole structure myself. All I started with was an old plain wooden desk, and then I've built on top of that this structure, and I've painted things. A lot of the storage containers are DIY stuff. I've used old containers. I've tried to be quite thrifty, and I haven't bought very much in terms of storage containers. The only thing I've actually bought is this little wooden chest of drawers here and the boxes here, but everything else pretty much is made from old water bottles, just sort of old containers that I found lying around that I've repurposed in order to make my storage. So the old wooden desk is the base, and then I have on top of that a white piece of wood which I use as a backdrop for my videos because I like to work on white, I like to film on a white surface, and I didn't want to paint the old desk white just in case I ever wanted to go back to a wooden desk. I just kind of wanted the flexibility, so I thought it'd be a much better idea just to find a piece of wood, cut it to the right size and paint it white, and that way I can swap between white and brown if I want to, because the whole desk can be taken apart. It's screwed together at the back with wooden supports, this whole structure, but it all can come apart quite easily, so if I ever wanted to change around I can. So on top of the white piece of board I have all this stuff, and then I have these two big wooden blocks here. There's one here, there's one at the end. They're covered in wrapping paper so they look pretty, but they are acting as sort of like an anchor for the back bit, and the back bit is a piece of wood here, a thin piece of wood that I've painted white and attached to these blocks, and then on top of all that I've got this structure here, and this is, I can't think what it's called, but sometimes in beds, particularly old-fashioned beds, you have a wire grid frame at the bottom underneath the mattress. I think it's a way of getting air up into the mattress. I've got no idea what it's called, but anyway, I found an old one. I found this in the it's basically our garage. We don't keep the car in there, but it's where we store all sort of old bits that we're not using and that anyone can go and repurpose if they want to. Anyway, so I found this in the garage and I have painted it white. Hot glue gunned this piece of fabric to the back of it. This is like a plastic fabric that it used to be an old tablecloth. So I took an old tablecloth, cut it up, glued it to the back of this. I also had to resize the grid as well, which took quite a while with the wire cutters. I had to actually cut the wire and everything, but anyway. And what I've done is I've painted that white and I have attached it to the back of the desk. The back of the desk has vertical wooden supports on it, so it's all nice and stable, but I'm using it as like an inspiration wall, and the wire, the metal grid is a really great sort of storage system, so I could, at the moment I've just got artwork up there, but I can also at some point put jam jars and all sorts of things. I saw an idea like this on Pinterest of someone using a wire grid, a metal grid, to organise their containers with pencils and things, and I just thought that was such a nice idea of using, particularly if you don't have a lot of space. And this whole desk is sort of geared around the fact that I don't have a lot of storage space and I want to be able to keep all my art supplies out on the desk. If I put anything away I don't use it, and so I'd much rather use everything that I have, or at least be able to see it, and I love the colour. So I like to be really colourful and to be able to see all my different supplies. So that's how the structure of the desk is put together, and now I'm going to go in close and show you guys the different sections, and I think I'm going to start up here with the inspiration wall. So in front of the inspiration wall, I've got on top of the piece of wood, I have a little figure of Ariel here. She's my favourite Disney princess at the moment. I like lots of them, but Ariel's sort of always been my favourite. And then I have a galaxy in a jar that I made. It didn't actually work out as well as I wanted, but it was just like a little fun summer project I did, and I followed one of Dramatic Parrot's tutorials, I think, to make this. So if you want to make one yourself, go and have a look at her channel. She's got loads of glass galaxy in a jar tutorials. Anyway, and then on top of that I have Lily Munster Funko figure, and I got some beaded flowers that I made, and then I have the inspiration wall. So starting here, I just got a little sketch of some Copic markers that I did for my 12 favourite marker video. Then next to it I have another beaded flower, a beaded rose that I made. So up here I have a hand-cut silhouette of Belle. I'm sorry about the reflection, it's the filming light in the background. And it's been hand-cut by an artist. Her Etsy shop name is The Shadow Studio. Unfortunately, I don't think she's doing these anymore. She's moved on to do other things, but she was so talented at cutting out silhouettes, and she had a load of different ones, but this one of Belle is my absolute favourite. And I'm really happy that I managed to get it, and I've got it in a little black frame to match the black card. Anyway, so there's that. And up here I have a green rose, and this is actually made out of very thin wood, which I got at a craft fair. And actually this pom-pom garland was also from a craft fair that I attended last year. And it's actually Indian fabric, so it's a pom-pom garland from India, and I was really happy to get it because I just love the bright colours and it just matches the whole look of the desk really well. So next to Belle, I have a little ACO that I made, and it's wrapped in plastic at the moment just to protect it. Up here, this is a magnet of strawberries that a friend got me for Christmas. This is a flower fairy girl that I've just popped up here. This print is from my friend Katie Martino. It came all the way from Canada, and it's of these lovely mushrooms, and I absolutely love this piece. This is one of my favourite pieces of hers, and she has a channel here on YouTube. We've done a couple of collabs. I'll link it in the iCard description below if you want to go and look at her channel. She actually has a speed paint video for this particular painting, and I will, any of these pieces here, any of these artists that have YouTube channels, I'll link it all in the iCard in the description section so you guys can go check out their channels. Anyway, if I just stand here so I don't get too much reflection. This is by Gweekles. I can't remember her real name, or at least I don't want to mispronounce it, so her username on Instagram and YouTube is Gweekles. She has a lovely channel. I love her art style. It's quite different to the art style that I normally like, but I love this painting of Sally. And you'll see as I show you the rest of this wall that Sally and Ariel are the two characters that I collect. I don't know why, I've just always loved both of them. So this is a watercolour painting, a print of a watercolour painting of Sally the Ragdoll from Nightmare Before Christmas. So next I have this little self-portrait that a friend drew me, and this is me with some dough and some Copic markers and surrounded by flowers and music and things. So she drew me that as a gift, and I've got that up here. This is one of my prints. This is the butterfly pattern. And then in the corner here I have another Sally print. As I said, I collect Sally and Ariel, and this is by Torian00 or Juicy Ink here on YouTube. I'm sure most of you guys follow her, but I really love this print of Sally. I have some sort of yellow flowers stuck around the place, and these were sent to me by Katie, who sent me the mushroom print, and I think they're Reflections brand paper flowers. Anyway, then down here I have, well, this, which I'll show you in a minute, and that's hooked on here, but behind it I have this greetings card that I made. I think it was one of the very first greeting cards that I ever made in this particular sort of cutout style. And I've got that at the back because I just really love the colours, and I like to kind of remind myself of some of the very first work I did. So I've got that at the back. I've got these pink wooden beads here. Then down there is another ACO that I made. So this is an original from an artist living in Japan. I can't remember her name. I'll put, as I said, I'll put all the links down below. She doesn't have a YouTube. Oh no, maybe she does have a YouTube actually. No, I think actually she does have a YouTube, but I won it in her Instagram giveaway. She has this really lovely style and I love the way she does hair. So I have this original here. Then up here I have a little BB-8 charm necklace that I made. I have this beaded flower that I made. This is another rose in a different colour scheme to the red one. And then here are some houses. This is a postcard from the Netherlands of these lovely watercolour houses. That's from an Etsy shop. And there's another little ACO there. And then I have, this is another print of mine. This is the falling leaves pattern. And then I have this sort of hanging, this is a necklace. I've never actually worn it, but I kind of use it as, I just really love all the different hearts. So I kind of use it as a sort of display, for display purposes. And then here I have another Tori Ann Juicy Ink print. I bought one of her mystery bags, so I have actually quite a few prints from her. This is my favourite one, and this is the Ariel in her town dress. I just absolutely love the composition, but I also really love the background as well. So that is my inspiration wall. So this is how it looks at the moment. It's just brightly coloured, lots of inspirational things that make me happy, things that inspire me. But I was thinking that maybe in the summer I'd change it and do a whole underwater theme, or just do something like that. And that's the really nice thing about this sort of wire grid setup, is that I can change it out really easily. And what I do is I put a few things up, and then I kind of just went around the house, you know, into my bedroom, and just kind of picked up bits that I thought would look nice, and just kind of did like a montage piece. It's a bit like a montage wall. And yes, so that's how it looks at the moment, and it's really inspiring. And I find often that if I'm feeling a bit uninspired, or I'm feeling a bit, especially if I'm feeling pressured by my projects and things, if I take a couple of hours to completely clean, retidy my desk and redo the inspiration wall, then I find that I get re-energized and re-inspired by just kind of doing some tidying and some organizing. Anyway, so that's that. Actually, just thinking about it, an underwater theme would also look really good, but I could do a really great Halloween autumn display as well, maybe in October. Maybe I could do a couple of videos on actually putting together the displays. Anyway, moving on down here. So for the surface of the desk itself, I keep the desk really clear of clutter, because sometimes I have to lay out quite big drawings. I have that little fake orchid plant there, and I used to have some little succulents on my desk as well, but I've actually moved those over to the window where they can get a bit more light, because obviously this does stop a lot of the light getting in. I try to always have some nice flowers on my desk, particularly if they're growing outside, and I picked these yesterday, and these are just my favourite colours, lots and lots of yellow at the moment. These are, I believe these ones are Bermudan buttercups, they're wildflowers, and so are these. I'm not quite sure what those ones are. And then these are lots of lavender that we have growing in the garden. So I picked those yesterday, and I just love the colours. And then I also keep this on my desk. This is a little coaster that I made for my teacup, so it doesn't stain my desk. And these are made out of pegs, which I've painted and glued together. And then over here, on this piece of wood, I store my different tapes. I've got a few over there as well, but over here I've got a nail, and then I just sort of hang these. So I've got masking tape and double-sided tape. And then over here, I'm going to start over here. So if I just move the flowers, move that. So up here we have the desk tidy. The desk tidy I made last summer, and its base is an old lid. I can't think what came in the original box because it's a round box, but anyway, I put a piece of pattern paper in the lid, and then these containers are made out of Pringle packets, the little mini ones. Now I don't eat Pringles, but my brother does, and I get him to save me the containers because they're just ready-made. They're ready-made pen pots. And there's also a glass jar in there, and what I've done is I've taken the Pringle pots and I've just printed out my patterns onto sticker paper, and I've just just cut them and glued them and stuck them to the outside, and it makes a really nice colourful desk tidy. So you can see this is the leaf pattern that's up there again. It's one of my favourite patterns. So the things that I keep in the desk tidy are liners and sort of various pencils that are sketching pencils and just almost random things. So in here are liners. I've got Copic multi-liners, I've got some paint pens, I've got a jelly roll, I've got some Staedtler pens, some Derwent pens, some Microns. This is just various pens that I've acquired over the years. I've even got some V-Ball Pilot pens, I really like those. And I kind of just keep all my liners for inking, all my inking stuff in here. I've also got a Pentel pocket brush pen as well. Then I have, in this one, a load of coloured liners. These are actually Faber-Castell Grip Fine pens, and I use them for lining sometimes, and as you can see, things are not exactly well organised, but I've also got a few jelly rolls, and this is just quite random in here. These are my Prismacolor Colour Erase pencils. A lot of them are very, very tiny, but this is where I keep them. And then in this one, again, random stuff, some Staedtler metallic markers, a Wink-Stella brush pen. This is a Zig Postman waterproof marker. Some of these things are things that I've got in art supply boxes, and they don't go with the markers or anything else, so this is what I keep this for. And in here is a variety of inexpensive coloured pencils, and these were from my cheap art supply challenge. This is something that a friend gave me. It's like a multicoloured pencil, and there were all sorts of bits in here. And then in the middle jar I keep my bone folder. There are a couple of pairs of scissors, there's a ruler, and there are 3 of these enormous chameleon colour tone pens which I got a couple of years back in an art supply box, and they're just far too big to go with the other markers, so I keep them up here. And then I have this little plastic pot which I sometimes put water in, but at the moment it's got a pencil sharpener and pencil shavings. I've got an X-Acto knife, a biro pen, and my favourite sketching pencils, which I keep here. I keep them in this so that I can easily see them and grab them without having to rummage through the rest of it. Anyway, so that is the desk tidy that I made. And that can sit up here, but it can also come down. As you can see, it's really self-contained, which is really nice, and that's just fallen off. Okay, so that's the desk tidy. So next to the desk tidy I have these 2 books. I have this little mini moleskin which I won in a giveaway, and this little mini moleskin is actually it's over halfway full, just nearly halfway full, so I want to do a sketchbook share of that when it's finished. I also keep this book here as well, because this is my favourite art. It's not an art book, but it's like an artist, it's a visual colour palette reference guide, and it's almost like an art supply itself, because it's full of beautiful pictures and the corresponding kind of colour palette down the side of the page, and it's really lovely just to flip through and look at for the pictures themselves. But also, if I need inspiration or I don't know what colours to pick, I can just flip through and think, oh yes, that's a lovely colour palette, and I just find this book so helpful. And then I would like to do a kind of a video. I think it would make a really great challenge video to just kind of open it randomly and say, okay, I'm doing, this colour palette today, or something like that. And I think this book is actually very helpful, no matter what type of creative artist you are. So if you draw, if you paint, if you sew, if you're fashion designer, interior designer, anybody who uses colour, this book is really, really inspiring and useful. Here's the chest of drawers. Not much has changed in here since I did the last tour of my desk. This was in it, but I'll just kind of show you very briefly. In this one I keep random things. I've got some metal corners for making books. I've got some magnets, and then I've got a Derwent battery operated eraser, and one of those, can't remember what it's called, but you can make circles with it. And then in this one, I have some charcoal, which I will not take out because it will get everywhere. I just bend the camera. I've got some charcoal, I've got my corner punch, some nice little round containers that I keep bits in, a tortillon, and I've got some various blending stubs and sort of sandpaper and sort of thing. This is an eraser shield, I think. As I said, I just keep quite random bits in here, and things I often don't use all the time as well. In this one, I have some 3D clear adhesive dots. So this is glue, but it comes in tiny little circles, which can be useful for scrapbooking and doing things like that. These came off a picture frame. I've got some gouache, and so in this one I've got a load of refill stuff. So I keep packets for things that I need to remember the name of. So these are for my fountain pen. These are Copic nibs. I've got brush nibs, some chisel nibs, replacements, a spare nib for my multi-liner, spare ink for my multi-liner. I've got a double of one of the various ink bottles, some refills for the battery operated eraser, refills for the Pilot mechanical pencils, some various little washi tapes that came in a kawaii box, refills for my Pentel pocket brush pen, and these are actually some old pens that don't work anymore, which I should just completely take off the desk, because one day I will pick them up and think they're new. Anyway, and some little pencil stubs in there as well. So this is sort of where I keep, nibs and refills. In this one, I've got some little pearl stickers, and I got a selection of lovely little glass jars, and I've got bigger ones and smaller ones, and I'm not quite sure what to do with them yet, so I'm sort of waiting for some inspiration. I'd actually like to do maybe some polymer clay inside of them or something. And then I have some distress inks, some Memento ink, and then some blades for my X-Acto knife down there. Just a variety of stuff. In this one there are some sponges for my distress inks and it's just basically all sponges for blending in this one. So I kind of keep these all in there. Up here I have my coloured pencil collection. In the containers there are a variety of, I've got a few Prismacolors, most of them are polychromos, but I've got a few Derwent Colour Soft as well. I just kind of use all brands together most of the time. So I've organised it by colours. I've got greens, blues and purples, yellows, browns, and then variety of pinks. And the reason I've put them into old water bottles, well, A, because I wanted to reuse the water bottles, but also because I want to be able to see the little ones. If I put them into a container like this, that would look really pretty, but I wouldn't be able to see all the little pencils. So it really needed to be clear, and I didn't really have any space for a coloured pencil storage case, and I don't use pencils all the time, so I kind of wanted to keep them out. Anyway, so these are water bottles that I've cut and glued to the back of the frame, and so there are the coloured pencils. Hanging over here in this is an old plant container, you know, one of those sort of hanging ones, and in it these are a load of chalk markers that I'm going to do a review on soon, because I was sent these to review. I'm going to give you a sneak peek here now. Chocolate Premium Wet Wipe markers. They're chalk markers and they're for plastic and chalkboards and sort of non-porous surfaces. They're really nice. That's what they look like, and yes, so watch out for a review of those coming up soon. Then in this corner I have this mug. Now this mug is actually from the Disney store, and it's a David Thompson, I think, drawing, and I absolutely love it, but it got broken. It smashed on the floor. So this was broken. It just got knocked off a table, and I was so upset because this was my favourite mug, but I found that I glued it back together, because luckily it broke into two pieces, and so I glued it back together, and I put polymer clay round here, and sort of just patched it up. Now I can't use it to drink out of, but I have put it back together again for use as a paintbrush pot. So it has a new life now, and it's actually probably safer here than it is being used as a teacup. Anyway, but I'm really glad that this nice image of Belle didn't get cracked, so I was quite lucky there. But so this is where I keep all my various paintbrushes. in the Bell mug. And you can see I've got paintbrushes, I've got an old toothbrush for doing splatter paints. I've just got various things in there. Then I have a pencil sharpener. And this I found in one of my old boxes yesterday. I think it's an old Barbie doll toy, an old Barbie doll accessory, but I just thought it was so sort of fun. I love the roses. And that's a little tiny galaxy in a jar that did not work. But I've kind of kept the jar out to remind myself that I need to do something with that. Over here in this bit of the wall, I've actually hot glue gunned some of these little water bottle, empty water bottle containers. Now, they won't hold anything too heavy, but there is just sort of a nice place to use this bit of the wall because I felt it was sort of space being lost, and also just to store some different types of markers. So these are the Derwent line painters. In here I keep my white, silver and black pencils, and I've also recently purchased a few luminance coloured pencils. I'm keeping these here because I want to do a test of them. I bought a few skin colours to test out this brand of pencil. And then I have my Crayola crayons down here because they're colourful and they're bright and they're cheery, and I would actually like to use them a bit more in art. I think they create a really interesting texture on the paper, so I'd like to just kind of do some experimenting, and if they're out on the desk then I will remember to use them. And then this board contains my video plan, which I won't show you too much of, and it contains, this is a print of my flower garden, this is a painting, postcard. I've got some tickets to the Louvre in there that I won, some various business cards, and sort of postcards from a couple of exhibitions I've been to, and then of course this is a Torian Juicy ink. I've got a couple of her bits up here because when she sent me my prints there were a sticker and some business cards included in the package, and this is also one of my prints as well. Then coming down here I have this little box, so if I just put the camera down now to show you the box. You may have seen this box before because I actually made this box in a video last summer, but in this corner of the desk I keep my pencil sharpener, and then I have this box which can come out completely. I'm not going to take it out now because I've just got it in and it's a very tight fit, so I don't want to have to move the desk out slightly in order to get it out. This container stores all the rest of my art supplies. This is my Copic and Pro marker colour chart. I did a joint one so I could see all the different colours I have at once. That goes in the back there. Then I have, this is my pencil case from Society 6, which again this is my flower garden pattern on it, and I really love this case. The colours are so bright. I have my Japanese watercolour set in this green box. Then tucked in here I have some 3D foam squares which I use for card making and scrapbooking and creating, you know, three-dimensional layouts. Then I have some stamps. These are an alphabet stamp set by Lawn Fawn. This is Sally's ABC, and pretty much if you ever see me using letter stamps in any videos, these are the ones that I'm using because I only have one set. I have some oil pastels here that someone gave me. Haven't done very much with them, but they are here ready to be used. So next is a pack of Winsor & Newton pigment markers. I was going to do a review video on these, but I tend to just do review videos for art supplies that I use all the time and that I would really recommend and that I really enjoy using, and I didn't love these. It's not that they're bad, I just don't think they suited my artwork and my style of working. I may just need to practice with them more, and it is on my list to do, but yes, that's why you haven't seen a review on those or seen me use them too much, because I just haven't found a way of using them that I really like yet. But I will try a bit more. I've got some few rulers, circular templates and things. I've got a clear acrylic block here for stamping. And then behind that I have a calligraphy set. It's a dip pen and different nibs. Then I have my Staedtler fine liner set, which I use for my colouring pages and things. My Winsor & Newton travel watercolour set. I haven't used this for ages actually. Haven't done watercolours for a while, but that is my little set. Then I have another little acrylic block, some tacky glue, some Ranger glue and seal, a Pritt stick, which is a glue stick, I have some PBO drawing gum, which is masking fluid, and then Winsor & Newton masking fluid. So I've got two different types of masking fluid here. I've got a few acrylics. I don't use acrylics, but I occasionally keep a few in case I'm doing a DIY or something. So I've got white, red, yellow and blue here. Then here I have some soft pastels, and this was part of an art supply swap I did with my friend Katie from Canada, and she sent me this lovely box of soft pastels, which I use for backgrounds, and I also use it when I'm doing polymer clay as well. Then I have some polythene gloss varnish here, and that is what lives in this little box here. And then I have the orchid that lives in the corner, and I have some post-it notes that I keep here in case I need to write down an art supply that I've run out of, or I've had an idea for a new drawing or a video. I like to keep these on my desk. Little gap here. Oh, I have some more of these chalk markers. These are the metallic ones. They go with these, and they will be in the review video as well. Then I have this little tray. Oh, there's a little beaded flower that has fallen from somewhere. Anyway, so in this box here, I've got my Winsor & Newton drawing inks. So this is some varnish for polymer clay. I've got some liquid pearls in different colours. I've got some glossy accent. I've got some stickles in clear and gold. And I've got three different types of embossing powders, clear, silver and black. And these just sort of stay in that little tray, as these are the things that I tend to use when I'm scrapbooking or card making, so they just stay together. So now onto the marker storage. I keep my various ink refills, so these are the refill bottles for the Copic markers. I keep them in this little box and this box, and the boxes are made out of the packets that the Copic ink bottles come in, and I actually have a whole video tutorial on how to make this particular container already on my YouTube channel. So if you've got a load of refill ink boxes left over, then and you want to know how to make this, then you can have a look at that video. As you can see, I've color coded them, so this is blues, greens, greys, and up here I've got the browns, the yellows, purples, pinks, reds. So this container is a vertical one, and this one is a horizontal one, and I keep all my various inks. I don't use them every day or even every week, but I like having them all out. It's easy to reach, easy to pull out if I need to refill a marker in the middle of doing a drawing, and they're also really colourful. On top of this, I keep some clear nail varnish, a circle punch, and a couple of little mini canvases are tucked down here, and there's a little statue of Periwinkle on top of the various ink case. Then this is the marker storage. I get a lot of questions about this, but all it is a few cardboard boxes glued together. I got these cardboard boxes in IKEA. I don't think they have these anymore because IKEA does change its stock quite a lot, and these were bought I think 2 years ago, something like that, but you'll probably be able to find something similar, or it's very easy to make little boxes like this. So it's just 3 layers of boxes all piled on top of each other, and the boxes are smaller. So these are big, these are medium, and these are small ones. And I keep the markers organised by colour. So I have skin tones, browns in here. I have all the reds and pinks in here, greens, blues and turquoises, yellows, purples, greys, blacks, and these are actually not alcohol-based markers. These are Pitt Artist pens. These are Indian ink based, so they don't mix with the markers, but all the alcohol-based markers I all keep together. So Pro markers, Winsor & Newton, the new Winsor & Newton brush markers I keep with the Copics because they all work really well together, and you can use them all together. So up here I have one various ink that didn't fit into the container. Then I have 2 wide markers, and so these have enormous nibs, these ones do. These just have like an enormous chisel nib on them. Anyway, so I've got 2 of those. Then in here I've got a few of these paper clips for the inspiration wall, a few tapes at the back. In here I've got a bit of glitter, and in here I keep putty rubber, a normal rubber, and some pencil sharpeners. I think that's about it for this art desk tour. I'm pretty sure I've covered every inch of this desk. I know this video was different to the ones that I usually make, but I did know that some of you really enjoy these real-time tour videos, and it is a little bit like a live stream. I know it's not live because I can't actually live stream at this present moment, but I am talking to you guys in real time and going round with you, and I'm sorry if the camera is a little bit shaky because I am holding it. So feel free to let me know what you think in the comments down below, ask any questions, and I hope you enjoyed this video. This collection may seem like a lot because I have it all out all the time. This is my entire collection. There's nothing in a box anywhere. I always try and keep everything out so that I remember to use it, and this collection has been built up over years. So I just wanted to say that and say have a wonderful week everyone, and I will see you in the next video.